Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Cliff Duel between a rapid deploy Goulash playing as SZIKRA Marine, and he's going up against TaskForceSZIKRA playing as 1Y. So we'll go through the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for rapid deploy Goulash. He's playing second Marine. I do have a full guide out for second Marine. It's almost 3 hours long, so I don't want to spend too long on this because it covers most of the things. What I will say is that he doesn't bring the seed plane, so his Harriers are going to have a hard time doing anything past the first couple of minutes. The only other difference, I think, is he brings a Lav at instead of the Humvee Tow 2. It's fine, it's just that's more for shooting at people. Shooting at... It's made for like a proper armoured engagement, the Lavat, whereas the Humvee Tow is more of a defensive tool. He brings the Lav Muse, I don't really know why, and he doesn't bring a lot of infantry at all. So he might just run out of infantry, frankly. Like, no assault men. What? What? He doesn't bring the assault men. No, he does. It's just the last patch changed him, so it got kicked out of the deck. I was going to say, that's really weird. So yeah, he brings the assault men. Yeah, there's not much to say, really. So the Cat Fae, their supply cost isn't ridiculously high anymore, I think. Didn't it used to be a lot higher? I don't remember. But this was played before the Nemesis 7 patch, which at the time of recording isn't actually out yet, but the NDA dropped, so I can... yeah, the supply cost got halved. I'm in the way, you can't see it. There, supply cost 1260. And the aim time is the same. The reload time is lower as well. It used to be like 360 seconds, down to 300, so... it got better, which is good. The supply cost in particular was just really stupid. The reload time, in my opinion, is still really high, but at least the supply cost was reduced. So that's worth bringing now. And I thought it was anyway, frankly. I mean, what are you going to do when you get to a town? But yeah, you can bring 4 of these if you want. And then, yeah, just like more recon. So he wants those at 2 there. I don't see the point in this at all. What's it doing for you? It's got very good optics, but it's got mediocre stealth. I guess you put it with your tanks, but this has good optics, I suppose. This has very good optics. You got a recon healer, you got plenty of infantry recon. So I don't really see the point. So, like, given that these are 3-point slots, plus 5 extra AP, and then yeah, I guess if you don't want the seed, you don't have to bring the seed. But yeah, just watch the guide. There's no point just repeating myself. And then you could get some more infantry, right? So this could be at 2 vet. And you could get, you know, a card of the law ones, or a card of the engineers, or whatever you want, really. Yeah, his opponent is playing 1Y, which is really good against SZIKRA Marine, because at the start it gets so many cheap things that it can... SZIKRA Marine's weak at the start because its units are expensive. So 1Y is actually really good against it because you just run all these reservist BTRs down the side and kill everything. In terms of how to change the deck, it's been a while since I played this. I'm pretty sure I used to run like there's overlap between these, so you don't need both, just pick one. Like, look, you see you're upvetting them, so I just get rid of this. It's like, well, it's got 25 pen. You just bring this instead. It's got a it's a T-80 BV gun, so that's pretty useful. Yeah, and then like this thing's really good, and you use the EW plane to scout for it, so that's good in the late game and so on. You've got attackers on those. But yeah, only having one card of Reservisti, I think, sort of degrades the point of the division. I'll be honest, they're playing on Cliff, which isn't really a good map for it. Don't see the point of vetting that, really. It's like 3 pointers here for your attackers and your con. Just pick one. This goes around the sides. This is, you know, proper fight. But honestly, I'd just bring that and this. But then we haven't fixed the problem, have we? And the problem is that should be upvetted, in my opinion. And then maybe don't vet this. You only got one card of Reservisti. Well, it is what it is. He's just going to run out of infantry. And in exchange, he gets more tanks. So yeah, you could swap out 5 T-72s for 8 more Reservisti, because the whole point is that you can buy like 5 of these a minute. Something like that. Yeah. No. Almost. But yeah, this div it's very hard to play 1Y, but I lost a tournament game to it as 9th US, and all he did for the whole game is just send these down the sides. And I just couldn't cover a wide enough area to stop it from happening. So that's what you should be doing, basically, and you might need 2 cards of them in order to do that. But if it goes late, you're just going to lose, so that's worth keeping in mind. SZIKRA Marine's really weak against helicopters, so you could do that and have 6 rocket helos. It's just then you definitely need, you know, your early game would be quite weak because you're showing up with 4-man squads, although they do go at whatever. But yeah, you'd have 6 rocket helos. SZIKRA Marine's really weak against that. In general, if I was going into ranked, I'd run it like that, but in this specific case, I'd do this. SZIKRA Marine can't cope with the helos. And, yeah, apart from that, I don't know what else to say, really. Like, the BMP ones, if you know it's Cliff, then obviously that's not going to be very useful. So you'd be better off doing this. Because, yeah, I believe this was just a friendly game, and he knew what div he was up against, and he knew what map he was going to be on. So, yeah, I'd be probably doing something like that. Might even get rid of the BMP2s on Cliff. What do you need them for? You see what I mean? But yeah, SZIKRA Marine's easier to play, but 1Y should beat it if you've got a really good 1Y player. Anyway, let's get to the game. Right, so with that out of the way, 1Y is really hard to play properly. Generally, you sort of do like an armoured blob with base T-72s, which isn't great against this div because they get tanks with the same range that get 23 pen. So that is pretty annoying. The other strat you've got is send a bunch of reservist BTR-60 PAs around the side, but he only brings 1 card of those, so he'll run out pretty fast. Because the idea is that SZIKRA Marine can't fight wide at the start, because all its units are quite expensive. So yeah, if you end up just fighting here, well, you're just going to lose, aren't you? So you don't want to do that. You want to do something zany, send a, you know, couple of reservists over here with an OSA or something, and bit of recon. We'll see. Looking at the deployments, he's opening with 3 expensive CVs, which is probably not going to help him in the early game. You can get the reservist CV infantry, 3 per card, and with the transport, I believe it's still cheaper than this. It's like 60 or something. So you get 2 of those. Right, Echo Foxtrot, Alpha Bravo. And then, yeah, you can have the command one in mid if you want, or you can just run with the infantry ones. And the idea is you're really going to struggle against... I mean, to be honest, you're on the weaker side as well, in my opinion, because if the enemy gets to here, well, then you're not getting in here. Whereas blue can still sort of cut across, right? Red doesn't really have that opportunity. And on this side, you get a couple of buildings, you get some nice fallback positions. But, yeah, if you're playing on the red side, you want to take this at the start as a matter of urgency and hold on to it as hard as possible, because if you have these high-rises, well, they can't get in here anymore, so you just own this whole zone. And you've got this covered as well, so they can only hide here. So this is how you win if you're on this side of the map, and obviously if you're on the blue side, you should try and stop them from taking this. Because, yeah, I mean, you can just see the LOS, well, you can't get in here anymore, and I can shoot you on this road. You can't get in here anymore, apart from back here, and I can shoot you all the way down this road. So that's the advantage for red. You want to play around here. Looking at the deployment, he's got the 3 expensive CVs, and he's got some Mot Razvedka. Okay, I guess that will get there first. And then, look, this is amphibious, so if you do that, it's just going to go across the water and get shot. So, that's not a good idea. And then we've got 2 Conkers, 2 grenade launchers. So he has taken this. Yeah, generally this is like a low intensity front and most of it happens here. But I'd be more tempted to, so instead of this Conkers, I'd get a BTR's, you know, a couple of Reservisti up to here with an OSA, because you're basically going to get this, you know, at the start, more or less. Fight around here and push this way, and just hold here, because you'll be able to shoot all the stuff with your Conkers and the buildings and stuff. But yeah, instead we've got 2 metas, so he's trying to play over here, and I don't really think that's a good idea, but we'll see how it goes for him. Igla, Razvedka, okay. There's a Sturm here. I mean, that's just a waste of points, really. It's on the wrong road for starters, but, like, yeah, okay, if somebody comes down there, you can shoot him once and hope you hit him. I don't know, because he gets the BRDM2 Conkers, that's better. It's got the better stealth, so it can get closer. Can get to here, and then it can shoot all the way down that road. It's wheeled, it'll get there faster. Yeah, so his only tanks are the T-72 ones. I don't know, like, you do want a couple T-72s back here. I know what I said before, but basically the Conkers shoot them down here, T-72 pops out, shoots, goes back in, pops out, shoots, goes back in, because the point is you don't have smoke. So that is really annoying, and the infantry fire support on these is very good, because the gun caliber is large, and the 50 cal does most of the work, so you can kill these people who are undoubtedly going to be there. But he doesn't actually have any recon there. Like, you need a recon unit here at the start, otherwise you can't see the guys in these buildings and they just sit there shooting at you. So you do need a recon unit there at the start. Switching to his opponent, we got a deployment I'm much more familiar with. So yeah, you open up with these, they go fast. This would get to here first. It goes at 130 kilometers an hour. He doesn't have airborne forward deployment. So you want one here and one here. You would definitely get there first, and then you'd kill this on the road. We'll see if he updates it. False recon. Yeah. Okay. And then Assaultmen, Gunner, Grenade Launcher, Stinger, Lav at. So yeah, I was going to say, like, it's nice to have an ATGM here to shoot down that road. Another Assaultman. 40. So instead of this Dragon, I think, honestly, you should just get 2 Gunners. It's about the same price. Maybe you couldn't afford it. And then, yeah, 2 M60s for the T-72 attack. That will never come. False Recon, USMC. See, look how little he's putting here. And it's just like a Helo. Guy's got 2 Strellas, I suppose. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. Generously joiner in the channel, they get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest level's worth 2,000 views, so if you want to help out the channel, it's a great way of doing it. And yeah, I guess I can understand why he's not put a bunch of T-72s here, because they would lose to this thing, but that's going to happen everywhere. To be honest, it's a pretty bad map to be facing 2nd Marine on, I suppose, but generally, you want to be getting the Reservisti and the BTR-60PAs, and there should be one down here. Definitely, like, you should just take that at the start. There should be one coming down here, one coming down here. Like, he is in here. He's just got to leave that building straight away now, or he's going to die. And yeah, he used the rocket planes to kill the Helos. They're really strong. It's like one of the strongest parts of the div. You would expect the Tomcat to hit this eventually. Got it on the 8th missile out of 10. And, okay, now it's going to be healing for a long time. So yeah, like this, for example, if you had a recon helo, or just try it, this costs 20 points. You just run down here and take this. And that's very useful. But yeah, he lost the Conkers to the grenade launcher because he wasn't really looking, and it just killed him, so... and now he's going to Probably lose this to AT as well, but yeah, so like this, you need to get it back. There's nobody helping it, and this has 23 pence, so you need to run away to get the fast recon. And the ERA is engine damaged. It's interesting, actually. It's standing up quite well. Wow, okay. So yeah, maybe a couple T-72s in here would have worked. So he's got the cluster thing out now. He's aiming at the wrong spot, which is a shame, because he can actually see this, because he's shooting at it. So why isn't he just right-clicking that? Oh, it's the high-altitude bomber. Okay. So he... Yeah, it's going really well. Wow. You should just never take my advice ever, basically. His opponent didn't open with the cheap CVs. Yeah, because look, this is 60 points. So yeah, now you would push this, so get that Streller up to here, get somebody back in here. Obviously it's like, you know, how much... You don't have infinite resources and so on. Because, yeah, Second Marine's weak at the start, so just keep hitting him with the BTR-60 PAs with the Reservisti, because they're so cheap. Right? And this should be aggressively pushing. The guy has 1 HP. Should be pushing, get this guy up to here. Conkers is in a good spot. Keeps buying planes, which, like, I understand they are... The rocket plane especially is really good, but he's not got anything on the front lines. I suppose his opponent's just buying planes as well. So yeah, this has capped the zone, so it should be hiding behind a building. He was going to do that, but then he stopped it, so now he can get shot. Okay, so now... Yes, get behind the building. It's the only way to save yourself. Not having the OSA is a really big problem. Yeah, I don't know, he really fucked that up. He just kept fucking about, and now he's dead, so... Happens a lot. Over micro does actually get you killed. From Blue's perspective, he just has to stabilise. And, yeah, there really should be Reservisti coming in to, you know... You can buy 5 of them in a minute. Imagine if you had 5 more infantry with 5 more transports here. Well, you'd take that, you'd take this, you'd have 2 in here. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5 or whatever, you know, and you'd have it sorted. So instead he buys yet another plane. His opponent, I don't know, allergic to buying Eyehawks, but he's buying too many planes, he's got no ground presence. So, I guess the idea is, yeah, but I'm winning, I'm winning. It's 39 minutes you can win, which is longer than the game length. And his opponent actually controls more zones, right? So yeah, this, you just keep moving it up, get that Stinger up here, you know? But he just keeps buying the planes, and, you know, this might just die now. Depends on the Tomcat. Never mind. And so he buys another plane. This might be the one from before. I think it has been 3 minutes. Face into it, or you're going to get side-shotted. Yeah, like, he doesn't have... He needs to move up the recon, and... Yeah, just too many planes. He's literally just spent the last 5 minutes buying planes, and his opponent spent, like, the last 3 minutes buying planes. Or 4 minutes. And he's got no ground presence. A bunch of Reservisti down here where you've got it, and then you keep it for the whole game because you put a guy there, you put a guy there, you put the Strela 10 in here, and that's it. You own that zone. This is probably the one from before. So thankfully he's learnt his lesson, and he's got the AA up, and he's, you know... He's definitely not just doing the exact same thing he did last time. Because that would be very foolish. So the exact same thing happens as last time, except this time it misses twice. Does really need that OSA, man. Or, like, a fighter. Fighter would be good. That MiG-25 PD thing. I know I said buy fewer planes, right? But yeah, I don't know, it's just... You hate to see it, man. I mean, he definitely could have taken this. There's nothing stopping him, but... He's just buying the wrong things. Fighting in the wrong place. Like, you know, I get it, he's getting kills, but... He's not really taking the zone. He's not playing to his strengths. he's attacking here where it's a big open field and so on. Whereas if he, gets the Reservisti up, gets it round to here, well, there you go. Now you're in this side and you push across this way, and your infantry shoots his infantry. Maybe you've got the tank supporting or whatever, the grenade launcher supporting, and you take this because there's nobody there. He's figured it out now, but just doesn't have the resources for it. I don't really see how that's useful. 25 pen, like I get that, but it's a vehicle, so there you go. Like this sort of thing. But if he'd done it 5 minutes ago, this wasn't here. And then if he had a bunch of Reservisti, it'd be in there. But just keeps buying more and more planes, and the longer this goes on, the better it's going to get for the second Marine player. Like, what do you need 4 BMP-1s for in this map? If you want the infantry, get the Reservisti. And if you want some kind of armoured fighting vehicle, you would get a T-72 at those ranges. As you saw, it was actually doing quite well, the command one. See, I don't know. Blue, really, all he has to do is just kind of... Well, for starters, he should probably buy a CV for over here, rather than let his opponent tick up for 10 minutes. For no reason. Yeah. Yeah, you hate to see it. The onus is on the 1Y player. All the second Marine player has to do is wait and just not lose too many units. Like, look, he's sending it now, but he's left the AA behind and he's not got any infantry with it because they're coming over here for some reason. Without AA, so they're going to get shot. But yeah, invest in the flying columns, the Reservisti flying columns with the reservist BTR thing. It's very cheap. It's a very cheap combo. So he's lost all 3 of the BMP-1s because, yeah, obviously in that kind of situation they don't do anything. The point is that they've got long-range ATGMs and they're cheap. So you put them with T-72s to just help in an armoured fight, but generally in this kind of situation you'd want a T-72, but he's just attacking in the wrong place. And that died. Not really sure how. Oh, isn't there a yeah, he got side-shot by the TOW-2. Yeah, you hate to see it. So really all the Marine player has to do is just sit there and don't die, and as the game goes on he'll get more and more stuff, and the other player will get weaker and weaker. His div is not a late game div. It's like trying to air spam into second Marine. Helo spam works against second Marine because the Eyehawks aren't that great against helicopters because of the immovability. The Tomcats are way too expensive versus helicopters, but air spamming against them, well, the Tomcat and the Eyehawk kill it, so... Especially when you're fighting over such a narrow front, the Eyehawk can just always cover it. Tomcats, it's going to be there. The idea behind the Tomcat is it costs loads. And now he's literally just got nothing on the ground. Across all 3 zones, this is it, basically. This guy was sort of too far away. I'm surprised he didn't move him up over the course of those engagements. And yeah, there's just nothing there. So, nothing is happening, so we're going to speed it up until something happens. Because they're just building up. You can see the Marines moving up. Something is happening. He sent another BMP-1 in to get shot by Dragon 1. So, I don't understand the mindset. Now he's buying 2 T-72s, but now he's not got the infantry support because they all died here. Or the AA, because he never bought the OSA or anything like that. SWIP's still up. So I guess we'll speed it up again. So yeah, the fighters slowly are getting... The planes are just, 1 Tomcat, 1 Eyehawk. And he's not bought any fighters. All his AA is just Strela 10Ms. He never even got the OSA, so he's just slowly losing his air force. And, Blue at some point is going to buy the next Eyehawk. which he should do, really. So this is interesting. He's coming over here, and one Strella's not really... Oh, he's finally bought these, so this is sort of the meat and potatoes of the division. It's 60 points for 2 units, one of which has a 50 cal and goes at 100 kilometers an hour on the road. And the other is 8 dudes for 40 points with an SVD and an RPG. Then you also get the other... Is he going to get side shot, or is he just trying to... I guess I'll get out of the way in time. So you can buy like 4 of these a minute. Not that I'd recommend it. No, yeah, 60, 240. Because you want to mix in some AA and stuff. But yeah, he just bought way too many planes. And basically all of these should have been purchased by now, 15 minutes in. So he is trying here, but he's not really got the recon. I mean, he's got this thing but no infantry recon. I'm surprised he can see that, actually, given these are just T-72s. And then, yeah, that SWIP thing's going to come back. So with 1Y, I only buy the planes late game, apart from the rocket plane. The other ones I just buy late game, unless there's something I really need to kill, like some incredibly juicy opportunity. Apart from the rocket planes, you just want to spam T-72 OSA Reservisti and the BTR-60 PA, and you just want to just constantly have these blobs going around killing everybody. Like, this is a nice idea. It's just he's left it so long that there's quite a lot here now. And for whatever reason, he didn't bring infantry recon. And he's still not bringing infantry recon, so... Wait, this could be shooting. And, you know, most of his guys aren't really engaged. Needs Iglas as well. Like, this one Strela 10M is not enough. You need an Igla with a push, because the Strela can't... I mean, it's good against these, but can it get close enough to shoot them without getting blown up by a tank or something? Especially when you're on the attack, it's very difficult, because there's going to be people in all these buildings. Now, if you're blue in this case, yeah, I was going to say, like, he's got a tank here. If he puts it there, then he shoots everybody coming down the road. This could fire if it was on attack move, and then he's got this as well, which he can bring over. Yeah, don't be afraid of bringing stuff over. So yeah, Red's trying, but the longer this goes on, the harder it's going to be for him to do this. Because there's just more and more blue units everywhere, right? Whereas before, if he went back, there were basically none. So yeah, like the EW plane and the those high altitude bombers, I bring both cards of the high altitude ones. He only brings one. Depends how you build the deck. It's been a while since I played it. And, you know, if you just spend so many minutes... Because he bought all 3 of these. He bought all 2 of the bombers, and he's bought at least 1 of these, so... You know, if you just spend 6 minutes buying planes at the start of the game against a late game div, then chances are he's gonna, you know... Right. You buy a 260 point bomber, well, it has to kill 260 points for it to pay for itself. And that doesn't happen in one bombing run unless you kill a heavy tank, basically. And you got a 3-minute reload time. So even if you're hitting everything with your planes, you're basically trading down. Like, your enemy's getting twice as good trades as you, simply because you're buying the wrong things. Even if you're killing him and he's not killing you. You have to think that in that minute, if I bought 4 planes for 250 points each, right, so 1,000 points, and my opponent has bought, whatever, 10 infantry for 1,000 points, and I've killed 125 points worth of infantry with each bombing run, you know, he's still, at that current game set, he's doing better than you. And it's only, you know, the planes come back, the guys it killed don't come back. Stuff like that obviously shouldn't be happening. So he is actually on a +1. Blue got overwhelmed because he's not got... he's been buying loads of planes as well, so... Didn't have a lot of gunners or anything in here. I'm not sure, really. I mean, I feel like he's been buying mostly the right stuff. It's just his units are expensive. He doesn't, you know... doesn't get as many. So Red is managing to pull it back. Now he's bought 2 fighters, which makes sense as, like... I mean, obviously the way he's using them is terrible, but it made sense to buy him when, you know, the Tomcats were flying over him and so on, and that SWIP thing, because like that just wasn't good at all. One of them's dead and the other will be back in 9 minutes. Thus only leaving 1/4 of the game time where he has that, which is a shame, really. But he took the zone. Yeah, I think Blue's kind of doing the right thing. He's just playing it slow. I don't really understand where a lot of his units went, but it is just they cost a lot. And, you know, those Tomcats are 300 points each. So it's over 2 minutes income on Tomcats, but he did need them because the enemy was buying bombers. Yeah. So, like, what was the point in that? Usually, like, you'd send it out so that you see the Eyehawk so you can arty it, or you send it out with another plane so that hit gets hit by the Eyehawk and then the bomber kills the Eyehawk. He just sent it out. He saw the Eyehawk shot and then it shot him in the face and he died, so it's not ideal. This T-72 is not in the right spot, really. So they're gonna... Yeah, if it was slightly further forwards, he would have been fine there. Although this would have been shooting him, so... Because, yeah, now it's going to get immediately stunned up, because this has 19 pen. And, you know, the laws help with the suppression. They only do, like, 1 damage, but... Yeah, so a lot of it just comes down to positioning. I really do think he attacked in the wrong place, though. If he had just sent a bunch of Reservisti down here with that Strela at the start, he'd own this zone. And that would be a very big deal. Because if you own this, you put guys here. Because a lot of reinforcements cross this bridge. So he doesn't... Well, he had the Strela and it got shot by something, basically. So that's why you need the Igla, which was there. And look at it, yeah. And, yeah, with this, you know, put a Reservisti there, put a Reservisti there. And then they just can't get back in. And then you squeeze this from this side. Because you do have the advantage in this middle zone. In terms, like, it's very hard to get the infantry in if you just run across this field, which everybody does, because that's the closest route from spawn. But if you come up here and then go across, you are covered, so you don't get shot by everything. You get into AT range pretty fast to kill the guys who are still in here, and you don't get shot in the open. Your ATGMs cover the open, so they can shoot the enemy in the open. It's hard to do that when you don't have this. So yeah, if I'm on the red side, I always fight around here now. Well, it depends. If I've got a div that I know is going to get here first, so like, last time I played it, I just dropped a scout heli here. You know, I had like recon helos, guys with... okay. It was scouts in gazelles, I was playing 4th armoured, and I just drop one here, drop one here, drop one here, drop one here, and I've won in 5 minutes. But usually you'd play around this. So once you get to here, you can sort this out, get in that corner. Get to here and here if you're fast enough, and then push right into mid. Because here, right, the enemy gets a much nicer spot here, because he's going to get there first. He's going to get to this general area first. And then, once he gets to this edge building, well, you just can't reinforce this zone anymore, apart from coming down here, which takes ages, because you have to go around, and the enemy should just have an ATGM in this bush, so he's going to shoot you. So it's basically just like process of elimination. Obviously you've got to play the game, right? If there's nobody there, you can try attacking there, you know, mix it up a bit. But the general game plan should be take this, attack there, definitely get this, and obviously if you can't get into this zone, you push right, or you just do both. And then you end up with, like, the enemy will have this. This will be contested. And you'll have all these zones, right? And then you win, so... I do prefer it my way. Because, yeah, I've had that done to me, and I was like, oh, that's a very powerful strategy. I mean, you know, that's how you learn. Instead, he's fighting in the hardest part of the map for him to fight in. I mean, obviously fighting back here would be harder, but in terms of the 3 middle zones, he's in the hardest one. Because you sit in this little corner and they can see you from these buildings. They're shooting you from over here. They're shooting you from down here, so you just can't get anybody in. So he's realised that, and he's changed his mind, which is good. Yeah, no reservisti spam. No recon. Recon's on its way. He's got some AA coming. Surprised he never bought the OSA. Would have been quite useful against those SWIP things. So Strelas can't really shoot him. So yeah, you can't expect to hold on to this, because you can't reinforce it. You're just getting shot as you go down the... I mean, you should be. I guess the Lavat there died. It's also weird that he never bought the infantry CVs, which are cheaper than the Belazors, so they're preferable. The Chaikas have come down in price, by the way. They're the same price as the Belazor now, which is interesting, and they're just way better, so it's better to bring the Chaika, which I think comes in this div. But this was played before that patch, back when the Chaika was still 100. So yeah, I mean, Red's doing alright for himself. It's just, you can sort of tell, can't you, that, you know, Blue, his units are better, and you know, he's getting a lot of helos now. Something like this, its disadvantage is it's super expensive, so you can buy 2 Reservisti for the price of this, and if they're all in buildings and stuff, the Reservisti should probably win. Well, it depends. I mean, the Reservisti have the SVD. The other Reservisti are cheaper. But yeah, it's good to have the Strela 10Ms because they can actually fight the Hellfires. Did he land? Okay. But yeah, you see, he just can't do anything here. He's just constantly getting shot. I guess this is not in the right spot. It should be over here. I do like having the Stingers pushed up. But yeah, Red can clear this out. Blue can clear this out any time. He just needs to look. I guess he's looking over here. On the right. He's keeping the Tomcats up as well, but yeah. You lose a lot of momentum if you buy a bunch of planes. Unsurprisingly. And then like 5 minutes later you lose the game, or you lose your position. So it's not immediate, and so it's not immediately obvious why it's happened. Osas would have fight there, for example. And I guess the recon died, or he put it here. So he doesn't have the recon, and sorry, I've got the hiccups. Yeah, he's just stuck in the open getting shot. You hate to see it. Now, of course, right, you know, if you attack here and it's not working out because they put 10 Guerrillian guys there, then yes, by all means, come over here. And you should attempt to put somebody in here at the start so that you don't lose this point, so that they can't get up to here and push you, and so on. And, you know, sometimes you want to mix it up and stuff like that. It's very hard to give generalist advice, because there's always a situation where it doesn't apply. But you can see the issue, and like we've been on Cliff many times, and you see this happen many times. Blue takes all this, and then Red walks over an open field and dies. So he feels like he doesn't have a choice. But if all the same units were here, well, think about just transplant this over to there. Well, you know, you're over here. Maybe the TOW2 shoots you, but you've got the buildings to hide behind. Move this up, and then you would attack this way, sort this out, get to here. You own mid. You know, and then the enemy, Blue, in that case, would be in a really difficult spot because he's got to put units here, and he's got to put units here, and they can't cover each other. Whereas you're one big blob here, that all the units are kind of covering each other. The AA covers all the units. On this, they would need 2 separate AA, or like an iHawk there, and it wouldn't really hit this very well. So generally, you'd want 2. So hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, there are 2, but it's 2 versus 2 and so on, and this guy was already fully suppressed. Not in the same building as well, so 3 versus 2. But yeah, you want the BTR-60 helping, because this wouldn't be able to shoot. If it went there, you'd be firing a 2 50 cals at these squads. Obviously then the M60 would weigh in, and so on and so on. But yeah, generally I don't see 1Y as like incredibly strong. It's just I was like, wow, this div sucks. And then I played 9th US into 1Y played by Scuff in a tournament, and he just beat me. And I was like, how did that happen? His div sucks. And the reason why was because he had like 2 cards of these, the Reservisti and the Reservisti SVD, and for the whole game there were just 20.50 cals going down the left, down the right. On this map it's a bit harder. It was on Ica, which, you know, you can definitely sneak stuff around there. This map, obviously, there's a lot of water here, there's a big break here. And I just couldn't shoot him as fast as he could buy him. I got overwhelmed in the early game. But yeah, if it gets late, it's very, very hard for 1Y to make a comeback here. Especially given that he keeps sending guys into this field to get shot. So yeah, you always end up with red sitting in this corner, and basically blue just uses mortars or buys a bomber and just blows up the corner, and that's it. See, like this he's doing a good job. I guess it came around this way. You might be able to get these because they don't have... Well, I suppose the DAS scouts are just going to kill them. But it's a nice idea. So yeah, you see blue's just slowly pushing him out. As the map becomes more and more saturated, it just becomes harder and harder for the lighter div to maneuver, because units essentially usually die slower than they can be purchased, so you get more and more units over the course of a game. I think that's fine, I don't really see a problem with it. Obviously a game like Broken Arrow, yeah, you can also RT the corner. A game like Broken Arrow attempts to solve it by just having a cap on units, thus meaning that, I mean, that's honestly such a bad system. The more you think about it, the more bad it is. So, you know, there's all counters and stuff, right? Anti-air beats air, helicopters beat tanks, tanks beat infantry generally, right? Tanks beat IFVs or whatever. So if I buy... So you get very few units. So if you want to do something, you have to over-specialise, right? So instead of having a beautiful combined arms force, you basically have to over-specialise. You'll have a bit of combined arms, but generally you'll have like 3 tanks and maybe 1 AA piece or something. So you buy mostly tanks. You take a zone because it's mostly infantry, and in Broken Arrow you just drive the tanks into the infantry and they kill them. Okay, that's the way it works. Now you're stuck on the field with mostly tanks, and your opponent has... I do see this. I mean, this is a bit overkill, isn't it? You'll get it sorted with the healers by themselves, really. Then your opponent gets more income than you because of the income scaling, and you can't buy many more units. You can buy a couple more units, right? But you can't buy many more units. And so you're stuck. It's like playing rock, paper, scissors. And after the first round, you know, I do rock, you do scissors, I win, right? Then I have to stand there for 5 minutes with rock held out while the next round happens. So, well, what do you think's going to happen? And then I lose all my rock to your, you know, because in this case it would be all my tanks get blown up by Apache helicopters. Okay. And then I know you only have Apache helicopters, so I overbuy AA, because you can't, you can't get loads of more units, and now I've got a bunch of AA coming, and your units are damaged and all this. So now you're stood out there with rock, and then I cast paper, right? And then I have to stand there with paper held out for the next 5 minutes, and you buy scissors, and it leads to this situation where, you know, people with about 3 brain cells between them are like, yeah, but look how dynamic the game is. It's going back and forth. Wow, he was winning, then he was winning, then he was winning. Yes, but the reason that's happening is because of this forced rock paper scissors bollocks, where I beat you in round 1, I'm forced to sit there with scissors held out for 5 minutes. And you can see that, right? Because I just beat you with it. So what are you going to buy? Anyway, back to the game. As you can see, blue is just dropping a bunch of stuff in the back line, and red is completely out of ideas. He did buy an Osa eventually. He's got them vetted, so he only gets 3. And yeah, the enemy just sort of landed in his backline. It's interesting, if he hadn't done that, red might have won, actually, because the point difference was, you know, it was only a +1. And when this is... excluding these, right? And he did manage to kill this one, which is surprising, because you can just pop the smoke on it, and then they wouldn't be able to shoot him, but I guess he just didn't see that. He really needs to fix this. But yeah, his AA is not really in the right spot, and so yeah, if blue owns this, red owns this, and this is contested, then it's actually +0. And so it was a mostly +0. Obviously, this keeps getting forced out and having to run back in. And so then he wouldn't have got these points up. So it would have been a much... Like, red probably would have won, because he was 800 points up. But as it stands... Look. So that's 70 for an 8 HP infantry squad and 8 HP armoured vehicle, whereas this is 80 for one unit. So it's best to buy all the reservistes first, rather than the other way around. So is he smoking the corner? I think he meant to smoke the corner, but instead he's HEing the corner. Because that's obviously really bad news, right? And this needs to come over here as well. Because now he's not covered, whereas he would have been covered. And okay, I guess this isn't there to shoot him, and this is out of rocket, so he's going to get in anyway. But that would have been very embarrassing, right, if this just got to there and shot that. But he, oh, he's still going. Well, he's not hidden very well. It might still happen. No, I changed his mind. So 5 minutes with blue on the +1, and that this will eventually die. You can hide it right in the corner, but it's just such an obvious arty target. He is trying to take out the arty with the Gvozdikas, which you really shouldn't put them right next to each other, because one salvo is going to damage both arty pieces. Yeah, he's just really struggling to sort this out. I mean, he had a bunch of attack helos here. I guess they got taken out by something. And this is probably dead. He could smoke it, but he's preoccupied, and this is out of ammo, so... Yeah, it's not looking ideal. Defeat snatched from the jaws of victory, because, yeah, despite everything we were saying, he was actually winning. And now this is obviously going to be a bit of an issue. There is an OSA there, but... It has 4 bullets. It needs 2 to kill each of these. Yeah, because they have 8 HP. So it can kill a maximum of 2 of these. Obviously, if he clumps them all together, might be able to get them, but... So yeah, defend your flanks. I mean, you can bring those ZU things, even something like this, because you get so many of them. You just have one there, you know. And then this will kill the helicopters. If it's, you know, in the rear side of a forest and the helo flies over, it's just going to get it. Anyway, you see what happened to the Gvozdikas, because he put them together. This is also why I don't bother betting them. The best arty piece at the moment is the D30 122mm, because it comes at 4 per card. Whereas the Gvozdika self-propel comes at 3, it costs more, so... Although not that much more when you count the transport. So 3 minutes on a +1, I think, is sufficient, because it's 40 ticks a minute. So 40 times 3 is 120 points. Let's put him on 930. Also, he's going for this. He's got a CV, and the OSA is switched off. Because I guess he knows that he doesn't have enough ammo and he doesn't want to waste it, but if he, I mean, it's just going to die if he keeps it. Well, yeah, now it's not fired anything and it's dead, so... There was no good option there, really. I mean, the seed thing would have hit it, so... Just goes back to the thing about those BTR-60 PAs. If you had a few of those around here, helos fly over, the 50 cals kill the helicopters. They assist the AA. So you smoke in the corner trying to get back in. Is this a +1? It is. But yeah, I think Blue's got it basically. Even if this gets in, and you would expect the dragon to just run around in circles till he finds it. He's actually leaving the smoke, so I think the Stinger will see it. Yeah. Yeah, oh, he's not sending it back in. It wouldn't have made a difference, really. Because there's a CB here coming. And there's just too much time. There's too much time. So, yeah, I mean, the 1Y play, like, he had his chance. He did a lot better than I thought he would, actually. Generally, it's down to those... you can either Mega Blob T-72s, which doesn't really work in this case because of the M60 ERAs, which beat the T-72s quite handedly, because this one has more range, but all the other ones don't have more range. Or you can do the flying columns with all the BTR-60 PAs backed up by, you know, OSAs and so on, and I think that would have done him much better here. Obviously, you know, hindsight's 50-50, But yeah, this is Jova Bros. I mean, I assume he's going to play it out, but he obviously can't get back in here because of the... It's like 10 billion guys there, and there's no CVs coming or anything. Generally, second Marine's kind of easy to execute. I think 1Y can win. Yeah, it's an interesting game. So if you want to see some Nemesis 7 gameplay, check the link in the description. I'm surprised it was that one-sided on the KD. Although at the end he certainly didn't have a lot of units, but it was literally 2-1. So rank 154 versus rank 100. Interesting. So yeah, do let me know what you think. And yeah, honestly, that ERA tank makes this quite a tough matchup for 1Y, because you just can't do one of your two strategies. You see what I mean? The third one, I suppose, is air spam. And you can't do that either, because, yeah, so you can't do two of your three strategies. Anyways, I'll see you around. GG.